Rock Rising. Erin Vogt here with Seeking Through Silence. I want to thank you guys. We're based out of the North Jersey, actually from a town that I have family in. My godmother, my aunt, is from Wallington, so that's where you guys are. Your stomping grounds are, right? Yeah. There's a pretty good music scene there too, actually. I know that there's been some kind of, it's like a rec room venue or something, right?
Yeah.
So you're in a pretty decent area for at least some point of your career, I'm sure, as musicians. So there's kind of a transient like the rest of the Jersey rock scene. But the album that you're definitely going to want to pick up after talking to Seeking Through Silence and obviously hearing them play is Promises. That's what's been out there, right there, for your viewing and listening pleasure. We have Kate, Will, and Nick, and you guys actually have had a fill-in drummer for some time now. Mm-hmm. She's done a few shows with you, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
She's also in other bands and stuff. If you want to give her, I guess, maybe like a plug. Kat,
yeah, her name's Kat. She's in a band called Eden Star. She's in another band called Who Killed Marilyn.
Okay.
And that's like a Misfits cover band.
Oh, okay.
And she just does a bunch of stuff. She fills in for a lot of other bands.
So very busy, but she's been on the road with you guys for some time now, but it's probably going to be for not much longer, so there might actually be an opening in Seeking Through Silence. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, right now we're looking for someone to fill in, someone to actually come in and be like kind of the fourth member.
Okay.
Unfortunate circumstances, but once we actually finished our album, our drummer, for personal reasons, had to go and take care of some stuff.
Move out of state.
Move out of state. He's in Florida right now.
It's a lot different, even
it's
with
a lot
the
warmer
world
there.
of computers and stuff. It's pretty difficult to get him on the road with you and everything when you need him. So I'm excited because this is actually our first chance. Obviously, D Rock Rising is all about building the community of musicians. We had our first contest recently, and bands are hooking up to do shows together and stuff. This is our first chance to actually do this kind of like a want-ad thing for a band who's looking for the right fit for their fourth more permanent member. So just think of it that way. And Seeking Through Silence. Once you hear them play, obviously, hopefully somebody might be sparked that's also looking for a band to play with. Because you guys are busy too. This hasn't stopped you as far as having the transition for a new permanent member. You're hitting the road. You're actually on the road as we speak right now for your summer tour. If you want to talk a little bit about where you're hitting in the next couple of months or so.
We're actually starting this Saturday. We're going to Connecticut, and then we're going to hit kind of like the East Coast. We're going to Vermont, New Hampshire, I think Philly also. Mm-hmm. So we have a lot of dates set up for
a nice
summer.
East Coast tour. Now that's a big challenge for a lot of bands that I've come in contact with is finding that, doing your first initial tour, say like the East Coast, obviously the easiest to undertake from where we're at, and finding the right venues and finding other bands to hook up with along the way. This is something that you're not new to. You're seasoned as far as the New Hampshire, Vermont. Seems like you guys have made some friends along the way.
Yeah.
So how was it getting that momentum going for, I guess, as far as advice might go to other bands out there? And obviously, do you feel more comfortable now that you've done the trip a few times?
Definitely. Yeah. It's kind of hard to get it started because when you try to contact a venue, they get contacted by so many bands every day that the chances of them getting back to you by the date that you need to go is kind of slim. So we found that like by hooking up with other bands and just kind of making friends and doing show trades and stuff, that's how we're doing this whole tour, is just by hooking up with other bands that we've met. And then, our friends up in New Hampshire, like, they're awesome. They're called Adria.
They've done a lot of shows together, really have a relationship going, and obviously I'm sure they feel the same way about having you down here in Jersey for them to be able to come and visit and play with and everything. So has it been more of an internet connection, or is it once you're out at a show then also making that network?
Both, like
combination?
Typically, it always starts with like the whole MySpace thing or just finding people on the internet and stuff, but then when you play a show and there's other bands there, you meet them. Like there's a Syracuse date we're trying to get, or we might be getting because of a band that we played with at a show up by Boston. So it's always best meeting the people in person.
Now it sounds like you guys have had a lot of success with finding those common friends along the way in other states. How has your relationship been with other bands here in Jersey so far? Obviously that might change, but has it been?
We got some good bands.
It's been just as good as far as just finding the right people, because that's what we're trying to build here, and what we've heard is a big challenge to some bands. They don't exactly know where to start with that goes either.
It's a community, it really is. I know there's a ton of bands out there who are, interested in kind of just, blowing themselves up, but ultimately it really is just a community. We're connected with a bunch of local bands, and we're, no one's better than no one tries to be. We're just all trying to do the same thing, just trying to build a fan base, play our music, just do what we love doing, and when you link up with other bands like that, that's when it really grows, because then, their fans come to your shows and vice versa, and, we all support each other, feed each other barbecues during the summer. It's really good.
It sounds like a very healthy outlook. So the advice you get today from Seeking Through Silence is it's all about the attitude that comes to the scene. and the networking and just not trying to do the battle all the time, but actually just putting the collaboration together out there.
Absolutely.
Aside from the summer dates, the tour that you have pretty extensively through the next few months or so, what's the next, I guess, goal, or what do you have your sights set on once you're back here in Jersey after doing the tour? Is it just doing some local shows then? You have had the album, so it's just supporting this album now. How is it a challenge for you guys to balance the studio time versus your live dates? Is it something that you try to do just in little spurts, or because everybody approaches it differently? Some people like to do almost like EPs worth and then go out on the road, but it's been different for every band.
We'll probably do an EP like once we come back from our tour. Hopefully we'll have a full-time drummer by then that we can just work with and go forward with. We'll probably do a couple shows here, then probably go into hiding for like, a month or two, record an EP, and then just kind of do it all over again.
Right.
Yeah.
So it goes back to the healthy outlook, I think. So if there's a drummer out there watching Seeking Through Silence and you like what you just heard, make sure you contact them. The website where people can get all the information that we've been talking about is
seekingthroughsilence.com.
Gets you straight there, so you can keep updated on those dates. And if you're planning a summer vacation, you might want to stop in on one of their out-of-state dates as well.
Absolutely.
Not a bad deal. The album is Promises. You're going to want to pick it up. We're going to let them play a couple songs, but it's the Seeking Through Silence. I'm Erin Vogt, and this is another edition of G-Rock Rising.